Hello and welcome to Robotics and Games Club. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to pass practice number 1 of building level 3. Click on building. Okay, so if you look down this list you can see this is beat the challenge, beat the challenge, beat the challenge. These are all beat the challenge. So I can't do this one, it won't let me do, there's no practice to click on here. Or there's nothing, I can't do this one until I pass this one here. Okay, so beat the challenge. Copy the code from the example and memorize the robot to the left. Then click here and follow the instructions on the left. So practice number 1, first I got to copy this code here. Okay, so I select it, I do Control C. I could also do right click and choose copy, which also says Control C. And then I need to click here and build this robot. So I already have this part of the robot done. I just need to add buttons A and D and connect them to 0 and 1. This part also has added a little bit of colorization to help with what ports are connected to which ones. I'll probably have to try to add that to the other example so that it's a little bit easier to see which ports are connected where. But that's not done yet. So I've copied the code and I click here. Okay, so click Robot Store and order the parts to build the robot and click Checkout. Okay, so I need to go to Robot Store, and the two things that I need are buttons, push buttons. I need push button A and push button D. So I need one of each of those. I can scroll down to the bottom and click Checkout. Okay, so these buttons need to go into the gray area. If you put them up in the white area, I don't think they're going to work. So it has to be down in this gray area. Okay, now I need to connect these up. So this one goes here and this one goes there. Also, I need to select all of this code and delete it. And then I'm going to hit Control V, or I can right click and click Paste. Okay, so it copies the code in here. So this code is going to use these buttons in order to move the robot. So if you look through the code, you can see digital read. So these are the digital ports. And it's going to read digital port 0, which is this port right here. And if it's equal to pressed, which is if this button is pressed, then it's going to do motor write 0, which is port 0 on the motor port, is going to get power of 100. Otherwise, motor port 0 is going to have power of 0. Okay, so when you press A, this motor is going to go forward. When you release it, it's going to stop. Okay, if digital read port number 1, okay, so this is port number 1 is connected to button D. So if D is pressed, then it's going to do motor write 1 is going to go to 100. Otherwise, if it's not pressed, then it's going to go to 0. And lastly, since all of this is inside the loop, it's going to do a delay of 0, which is going to kick it back to the simulator and then do the loop again. So it'll check to see the buttons and then keep going. Okay, so here we've got the code, we've built our robot, and we're going to click Update. Compile is successful. Now we'll go to challenges. So let's see, paste the code. Update, click on challenges. Okay. Under basics, click the first challenge. So here's basics. Basics is now unlocked. And I can click on basics. And here you can see everything is banned except the keyboard is acceptable. So it allows the keyboard so that you can press the keyboard and have it be able to read the keys from the keyboard. Okay, so the challenge is use keyboard keys to move your robot to the waypoint. You can click on example and you can see an example of the code and how it runs. I don't know that that's that important because we'll just go to the challenge and do it. So I'll click on go to challenge. So here's my robot. Now if I press both A and D, you can see the robot goes forward. So now I stop. And now I'm just going to push the button D, so just this motor is running. Oh, I went a little too far, so I push A to line it back up again. And now I'm going to push both A and D. Whoops, now I got to let go of one or the other. Oh, I'm doing a pretty bad job of driving. Okay, so you can see by pushing the A and D buttons, I can control where this robot goes. Okay, challenge completed. And that's the end of this challenge. Now I can go down here and click Exit Help. And if you click on Building, you can see I've passed this one. It now says Passed, and it's unlocked Practice 2, which we'll save for another tutorial.